So, ow. Okay, Becca wanted me to say that this is not as horrible as I thought it was going to be. Ow, got it. I'm saying it.
What's the
I'm just
matter?
kidding. She's not really hurting me.
We were in Bryce Canyon, and it's freaking beautiful.
It's really pretty.
And John, it's the middle of August, or it's the beginning. It's hot, so Sedona was 100 degrees. It was brutally hot in Sedona, and it was really, really hot in Zion too. But good job on choosing multiple days in the place that's cooler, and it's really nice actually because there's a breeze. The breeze makes all the difference.
Yeah, there's a chill. It's chilly right now. Like you could easily need a jacket if it gets any colder, which is kind of we craving that because Sedona was like we didn't bring enough water. We went on a short hike and we did not bring enough water. I don't know if you could bring enough water. It was like it stretched the limits of our.
And we should have listened to the local guy
bodies.
and just gone straight to the creek instead of doing. We decided to hike to Bell Rock, which is a very well-known thing, and it's also got a vortex. Did you feel the vortex?
And we walked from the hotel because I was freaked out about crowds and there would be no parking, and so we added an extra, like
10 minutes.
But
it was 100 degrees.
Over 100 degrees. 10 minutes walking in the heat is hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, vortex. Do I lose my wokeness if I say I didn't feel it?
I've never felt any vortexes, but I've been to them many times. But here's the thing that's interesting about that. While I may not feel anything, I want to go back to Sedona. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need to go there again. I need to do more hikes there. So something draws me to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel it feels very soothing, and like it makes sense that there's all the rock shops and psychics and energy vortexy places, even though
the whole place feels magical.
Like I'm not the kind of person that would go to a place with crystals all around the room so I can magnify the vibe of that. That's not where I experience the world at this time. So the fact that I didn't experience and feel the vortex also would make sense. But I did feel that Sedona is really beautiful, and it feels really like, especially when we were connected to water and having water, and then the red rocks and the trees is really incredible.
I do. The only thing I wish is that we had, it was the full moon on Monday, and we met a local who said that there was a full moon drum circle at a specific place. And I was like, let's go check out the full moon drum circle. But it was, our last night, and we needed to pack up and be ready to leave the next day. And then the rattlesnake scared the shit out of us. So we were kind of like turned off at the night hiking.
Well, and also like, I feel like, we're trying to find a safe way to experience life while honoring the stay-at-home orders and the COVID-19 social distancing. And
right.
In the parks, there's people, a lot of people are wearing masks
as
they get out of their cars.
2/3 maybe are
in this park. Yeah,
it's like,
but to go to a drum circle,
right?
That felt like a little deeper into the irresponsible behavior.
Well, and you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday. We did this really cool hike. There's a woodpecker. Look at little buddy. We did this. What was it called?
Lookout point.
Lookout or viewpoint. Anyway, I looked it up on All Trails, and it was a heavily trafficked, meaning lots of people do it. Very popular. However, everybody who had done the hike said it's worth the view. And I was like, okay, it's only like a half of a mile, and it's going to be like climbing up, but then we're going to have this amazing view at the top. So let's do it. So there was a lot of crossing people on that trail, but you wore your mask the entire time, I think. Mm-hmm. And I pulled mine down when there was nobody within 20 feet of me. But then I put it back up. This is actually what I wanted to talk about, was how to be like mindful of this shit while you're also like, I can't be home any longer. I'm going insane, and I need this nature therapy for my psyche, for my mental health. So what I thought was kind of interesting was we were the masked ones for the most part on that trail. And only every so often did we cross someone that would also be wearing a mask. But I kind of thought about it like, hey, we're from California where there's a lot of COVID. And we're actually maybe the higher risk people coming out of a place that has higher numbers of population affected. Arizona has higher numbers too, but not as high as California. But then again, their population is different. But Utah has much lower numbers. So it's like, while we're in, Zion's in Utah. So we were technically in Utah, and in Utah, you don't even have to wear a mask inside of buildings. Only some of them said mask required. Other buildings, we didn't go in a whole lot of buildings, but it said like, please wear it, but you didn't have to. So it's interesting, but it's like, while we were hiking on the trail, we're like, you know what, I'm going to cover because I'm walking by someone and I don't want to breathe on them because what if I'm the one who has it? Anyway. I feel like people were doing pretty good. And I heard some moms and they were like, just wear your mask when you're close to people, and when you're not near people, you don't have to wear it. And I was like, these are all the people like us that are tourists that are from somewhere else that are like, well, even though the locals might not think we need to, we're going to do it anyway out of respect.
So can I share a little bit on that? So I it's really interesting the effect that the mask suggestion or requirement has on hiking, because as a normally if you are in nature and you pass someone on a hike, I feel like there's a real camaraderie, there's a real like recognition that we both are appreciating the natural world, which in the modern world is a pretty significant thing. Like if you go someplace to check out the sunset, you're like, that hey, all of us here got away from our computers, got away from the television, and so when you pass people on the trails, I always like when I say hello, hey, how's it going, good afternoon. And it's a real shame that right now when you pass someone on, you're either both masked and you can't even tell if you're smiling. So there's still, hey,
I do a little like
a nod
or like a hand signal of like, hey.
But it's not the same, and it's certainly not the same if one person is masked and one isn't, because then you have to go through this whole like mental.
It's so weird.
As you pass, you go through this thing of like, okay, do you not have a mask on because you've done the science in your mind and you're like, hey, we're outdoors,
or you're like, this is a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, you do it, yeah, because you did the science in your mind. You're like, hey, I've analyzed the risks from what I've been reading, and I feel like this is, as you pass someone, it's not worth the effort, and I feel like I'm being very low risk behavior, and that's why I'm doing this. Or are you not wearing a mask because you are politically motivated and you think to wear a mask is to support the Democrats,
or to be a sheep,
or do you feel like this is all a hoax and the mask is a demonstration that you are following blind orders of a regime, and it's like, and so it's like, it's like this thing that a year ago passing someone on a trail was this like jolt of connection is now way more complicated and
it's way different.
and even if you're like,
you can't, but
it's like
when I was wearing it and I passed by someone who was not, I actually made a point to be like, hello, because you can still hear my voice.
Yeah.
I feel like, because it seems like I was saying, if you don't say anything, it's all like, I made a YouTube video about wearing masks and how it makes us feel like our mouth doesn't work. We suddenly feel like I'm a mute ninja person who's like, like I need to be as quiet as possible. It's like we forget that like there's a person under there.
Yeah.
It's like when you're on the freeway and you're like, stupid Corolla, get out of my way, and like you forget like there's a human being driving that car.
Or like when in the parking lot a minute ago when your window was down and these two people walked by, like, hey, look at those old people wearing the same outfit. I'm like, just because we're behind a glass right here doesn't mean they can't hear you.
They're old. No, I love it when people match. Like I saw this couple that had to be over 65, easy, maybe even older. Yeah, and they were both wearing a turquoise shirt and a khaki colored like pant or short. And I was like, they totally match. That's so cute.
Hey, if there's any chance you're going to upload this from our motel, this is way too long.
All right, we love you guys. Just wanted to say hi and how you can go outside right now, and it is a little weird, but you can keep your distance from people, and it's I feel pretty good. Like, we're in the car, we're in a sanitized room. I mean, we're trusting that they really did sanitize it, and we're I feel like we're doing pretty fucking good.
But I mean, but the Southwest is fucking hot too. You know, like camping in Sedona would be really rough, I think, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, 100 degrees is no joke. But it's only 81 right now. It feels fucking great. Check this out. All right, so we
Happy
love
trails.
you, and we're yeah, more to come. Bye.